everybody, and welcome to another episode of Quick Review Thursday. I'm your pal, the Moo Cow, aka Paulie Presenza, and I am joined by
Jonathan A. Moody, your co-host for it.
co-host, cow host. I guess I'm the cow host.
You're the cow host.
And today we are doing a movie that kind of popped out of nowhere for me
And me.
and you, yeah. And it is called The Haunting of Prince Dom Pedro de Alicante, Francisco Antonio Hale Carlos Javier de Paulo Miguel Rafael Hakim Jose Gonzaga Pascual Cipriano Serafim. That's the
Or just Haunting of Prince Dom Pedro.
Prince Dom Pedro.
That's pretty much the main thing. But then everything else is like small print, so for all the rest of the name. So you really don't know it's called that, based on the posters and
Right,
stuff.
right. But you can just go with The Haunting of PDP, and that'll do.
But that's his real name. You know that, right?
Oh, I know.
I didn't know anything about Prince Dom Pedro. I did not know that. I thought this was a made up character, until they said he liberated Brazil, and
Liberated
then
Brazil, yep.
I was like, wait a minute. So are they saying this as an actual thing, or is
hmm
this something? And I feel like honestly, this. I mean, even though it isn't, but it almost felt like a class project gone wrong, like or whatever. Like they were trying to come up with a class
Well,
project. They made a movie.
it's like an absurdist comedy where they take one little thing that's a true little factoid and they blow it up into this crazy absurd level of strangeness. That's kind
Hmm.
of where I got from this. And I don't know. I thought it was very interesting. I was definitely entertained by it. I kind of do wish that it had been a little shorter and a little funnier. So a lot of the stuff didn't land, and I wasn't exactly sure at first until there were some previews. Well, it turns out those little previews that we saw are actually short films that these guys have already made. So like, Bigfoot Escaped or Bigfoot
No,
something.
Bigfoot,
Part 7. That's an actual short film that
Unleashed, Part
Unleashed.
7.
And dude,
Um,
I wrote him back. I said, please tell me that's your next movie. I want to watch that.
did they say yes? It is.
He hasn't said.
But they like in production.
And
They have.
swipe left when I should have swiped right. That's another short film that they did.
Well, right, and that's actually something. I swiped the wrong
I
one,
swiped the wrong one. Yeah,
and that is actually getting made.
Mhm.
That is actually being made. But they did do a short thing, mainly a trailer for it, which they put into this movie.
So they're
And
kind of
then,
setting you up to be kind of funny and kind of silly. You just don't know it quite yet.
well, that kind of drove me crazy too, because it was like everybody talked about that movie after a while, and then they even re-showed the trailer into the
Very
movie. I'm like,
self-referential.
and well, it was like I saw the trailer. Like I don't need to see this again.
Mhm.
Like I don't need to see clips from it. Why are you doing this to me? And that kind of drove me a little nuts. But
Yeah, it's like a little closed loop universe where everything is just kind of there in the background at all times. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of, if you're not used to this kind of absurdist approach, I can see where it's going to drive you nuts. It took a little bit of watching it for me to finally pick up on it. My only issue with it is that ultimately, if this is supposed to be funny, boy, it did not end funny. It was a real downer of an ending, if you
mm,
ask me,
it
because
wasn't.
the ones that I liked most of all, did not make it.
No, no,
That
they did
wasn't
not.
funny, especially
Um,
since we're with them all the whole way.
Once again, we're not going to do any two spoilers or anything because once again, this movie, as far as I know, isn't out into the public. This isn't
Right,
on
right.
Tubi. This was actually something that got sent to us as a screener that
Out of the blue.
got sent to Paul on our
Yeah,
website,
yeah, yeah.
and stuff. And I was like, oh, and so when he sent me that, I was like, okay, well, I definitely want to do more reviews. And I said, Too bad this can be like a quick review. And Paul was like, this should be a quick review Thursday. So,
Yeah, yeah. But I knew when I sent that thing to you and I saw the title, I was like, oh, well, he's gonna go like, oh boy, what are we watching now?
well, I mean, the Haunting of Prince Pedro, Dom Pedro or whatever. I didn't, I knew nothing about it. I literally thought it would be like in a castle or something, and it'd be, when it turns out it's all teenage kids, I was like, oh God, Paul's gonna love this, because Paul hates movies about teenagers, and stuff.
But they weren't even trying to make this like a normal teenager movie. This was strange and absurdist pretty much from the get-go.
It was
Let's say that.
absurdist, especially with the cell phones. Like, I
Yep.
guess the whole big thing is like that the writer of this who played Mr. Clark or whatever,
Clarky.
Clark A
Okay.
or whatever,
He
he
was funny.
he kind of it was weird.
Happy nachos. Gulp, gulp, gulp. He's supposed to be the Spanish teacher.
Yeah, your tortilla or something,
Tortillas.
Yeah, tortillas.
He
Uh,
reminded me of Mr. Chang in Community. He doesn't really know any Spanish at all.
Oh, you reminded me of you reminded me of I don't know if you ever watched Orange County that had, like Skylar
Mm-mm.
Fisk and a few other people in it, written by Mike White, but Mike White plays this character that's like Colin Hanks is like, I think my English teacher may be illiterate. And it's he is sort of like this dumb teacher's like, oh, I didn't get anything I didn't understand what you wrote, but I gave you an A anyway, you know
And
and that's the kind of thing I
there
saw.
was a little bit of Mr. Mackey in the principal, and
Mm.
how he's kind of a pain in the ass.
Well, he just talks on the speaker, right, most of the time, or he calls in and says, "I can't make it," and it's just
All
his
non
voice.
sequiturs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's funny. There are some things though that were just for example, this kind of annoyed me a little bit. It may not have annoyed you, but there are a couple of songs in the
Oh
movie.
yeah, yeah.
We have to sit through the whole songs, both of
Which,
them. And
which I know you don't like.
oh, I got it. I wish they had been shorter, and I know why. At least the first one's in there because the actress, that's her thing. She's a singer-songwriter as well as an actress, and so I'm sure that's one reason why she was put in that
Yeah,
role
asked
because
to do
she's up
that.
there
Yeah.
singing. Yeah, she probably even wrote the song, which was a good song. It's just I didn't know if I necessarily had to sit through the whole thing, and in the other one especially.
Well, all I could think about was this is so much better than the Birdemic song.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
These were really good songs. They were a bit long for me. They kind of started to feel a bit like filler, and I don't want to feel like filler. Especially
Especially
if
when it was already too long to begin with. It was already almost
uh,
like I think
comedy, even if it's absurdist comedy, should be quick.
it was an hour and 22 minutes, I think, or so. And
Mm,
then like it felt like, yeah, you're right, because like the filler in the beginning with the fake trailers and stuff like that. So you get two trailers in the beginning, and then later you get a little bit more of that trailer again, and
mm.
then for the swipe one, and then at the end, if you watch all the way end to end, there's still stuff about Bigfoot, which I kind of skipped. I hate to say it, I kind of just stopped
I
watching.
loved the Bigfoot stuff,
I didn't
and
I
I loved how the one girl kept going after it, even though her life's in danger. She's like, "Oh, send me all the Bigfoot stuff." She was totally into that, and I totally
Yeah,
understand.
that guy, what guy's like, what? No, I'm not gonna say.
That cracked me up. So there's
Um,
there's definitely some charm and some funny stuff in
Oh,
there.
I did like the main two girls.
Yeah,
Like,
they were great.
they were great and they had good chemistry
They
together
did.
and they bounced like off of each other. In fact, I was really upset about one of the other characters. Not going to mention who because that kind of spoils it. But there's one character who he goes away, dies, or whatever. That I was kind of sad about because
I know.
I
I
liked
know.
him and I kind of wished he, survived.
And
But
that's problematic if you're making a comedy. If you're not, if you're making something that's a little more serious and you've given people characters that you really like and only to take
mm,
them away from you, that just makes it that much harder to bear. It makes it a harder,
Well,
movie.
also I think I like that though because like you gotta have a little bit of drama, or you gotta have a little bit of you gotta care about the characters, and I think I did care
Yeah, yeah.
enough about the characters. I just like you said, I think I just wished it were funnier. I think that some of the jokes just landed flat for me. And I think and I hate to say it because I think it's these actors, a lot of these actors are new, and comedy is about timing. It's about how you say it, like if there's certain ways to say things that you could totally ruin a joke by saying it a certain way, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like some of the times they say the jokes a little bit too flat, and they need a little bit more oomph to it. The people I really really did like, we talked about earlier before we started this, Jess Uller was in it, and
Yeah,
she was
Solar's
just
wonderful as always.
wonderful.
Wanted to see more of
I
her.
wanted to see more of her. Kind of wish she was one of the kids or one of the
Or one
teachers
of
or
the
something,
teachers or something. Yeah.
something. And then I liked all of the like extra people that came in, like the jujitsu teacher. I
Hmm.
loved him.
He was funny.
He was funny. I love the Bigfoot expert. Um, I could care less about the whole going into that bookstore. That whole scene could have been cut for all I cared because I didn't find it funny at all. I found it stupid, and
I liked it.
I didn't
Well,
didn't
at
didn't
least
do
the
anything for me.
bookstore I liked. Maybe not so much the thrift store. I think you could have sacrificed one or the other. I didn't think you
Oh,
need.
both of those I didn't like. I didn't like the thrift store stuff too because I felt like there was just nothing happened. These once again filler because both scenes didn't at the end, and maybe that's the absurdist humor, but like at the end they didn't get what they were looking for. So like I think that was supposed to be the point,
Well, yeah,
but
the
like
joke is that they're looking for this ridiculously obscure book, but this, thrift place is the one place that happens to have it, but they can't get it because they're there 2 minutes before it closes, and they're going to close no matter what, even though they're not accepting money, which is the whole point of why you have a store like that in the
But
first
then,
place.
and then the other bookstore or whatever that they go into, and the guy gives them the wrong stuff on purpose.
Yeah,
Because you didn't ask for the specific one. I was like, this is stupid. I just like, what is the point now? They both times they went in there and then they didn't get anything, and then I'm
yeah.
like,
I think it's just to sort of subvert the idea that you see in a lot of things, especially in TV shows, that you can just go to X, Y, or Z and find the answer, and you get it, and then boom, boom, boom. Where it's like, well, in this case, they think they know where it is. They go there, and they're getting all these obstacles instead. I just think that they did that in 4 or 5 takes when they could have only done it in maybe three.
that's what I'm saying. Like, less of that. Like, if they cut out a couple of them, I would have been fine. But I don't know. I felt like the movie should be seen. The movie should be watched if you're into this kind of stuff. But
Yeah, I
like,
mean, on the other side of that, you got to see the two girls together a little bit more with each other, and I liked that too.
I like the
I
team
could
up
have
of
watched
them.
those two doing whatever all day long. They were really delightful. And I noticed the one, I think the lead girl whose name I forget, I can't remember anything.
I'll have to look at it.
I think that was one of her very first acting gigs, if I recall, and I thought she did a really good job. You
I
know.
think most of these people, it's like their first acting gig. Uh, yeah. So this was her first thing. Now she's got a few other projects into
Yeah,
or
wow.
being
Can
filmed.
you imagine? That's amazing.
But she started off in 2024 working on I Swiped the Wrong One as a
Right,
production assistant.
right.
So that's awesome. And then I mean, most of the other girls and people, like most of them, they're not, they haven't done much, and stuff. And I mean, I'm saying that's the thing. Like, I get it. Like you're new, you're just getting this stuff. So I'm not ever like saying bad things. What I'm saying is,
Rachel O'Day, that's who it was.
yeah, my problem with it is that if you want to do a sort of absurdist comedy, you need to cast people who've done comedy before, especially as the lead. Just because it is really hard to do that stuff or
And
whatever.
did it drive you crazy that the names were like Jaden, Caden,
I thought that
Caden,
was
Caden?
hilarious. I'll tell you the skit later that I had
I
something
thought that was
similar.
cute too. I enjoyed that.
I have a skit that I want to do with both of us and
And
some
they're
other
like,
people.
no, Hayden with a Y, no, Hayden with an I, no, Hayden with an AI.
Or Hayden without an A or an I.
Because
Like
that to me is very much like teens today with their goofy ass names. And, I thought he captured the whole current teen thing to a T and their little obsession over phones and finding little TikTok things and stuff.
yeah.
I thought that was pretty spot on.
It kind of went on for a little bit when all of them were going around showing everything. I was like,
Yeah.
can we kind of speed up this? This is and then I was like, I guess this is the joke, is like each person does it, but I'm like, it's not funny to me. And I was like, it might be funny to Paul, but even Paul, I think you were like, probably the same way as like speed up. I yeah, I will say this. It did not bore me, at all.
Oh yeah,
I
not at
thought it
all.
was going to. I'm not gonna lie. That was my first thought. Is this Haunting of Prince Dom Pedro sounds boring of a title. But when I started watching it, it did not bore me. It made me tune in the whole time. I was interested.
See, to
Um,
me, the other thing I kind of like about it, and you're gonna be like, oh, it figures. It almost feels a bit like a troll movie.
yeah.
Like like this movie is trolling people who have certain expectations of films, especially horror films, and these guys are going out of their ways to subvert it. And I always like that kind of thing. You know me, like Reflections of Evil. I like that kind of thing. So if you don't like that sort of thing, I can see how it would drive you crazy.
I mean, it didn't bother me that stuff, but it just I think the comedy could have been better. That's my opinion.
Mhm. That's fair.
I feel like I didn't
Comedy's
laugh.
hard, man.
I feel like I didn't laugh that loud much and stuff, and I didn't even really chuckle as
Yeah,
much as I should have.
comedy is difficult because, and I always say this, what's funny to you and funny to me isn't necessarily funny to anybody else. And if you are not hitting that sweet spot where it's really universal to everyone, then you're kind of like doing an inside joke that
Well,
nobody else gets.
I think, and that's the thing too, is like, so you're right, because, I like the Adam Sandler comedies. You hate him. So, but there's other people who love the Adam Sandler comedies.
Mhm.
A lot of the majority of people, mainstream, love the Adam Sandler comedies. So
They're
Adam Sandler is more
obvious.
universal,
Yeah, they're
more,
they're they're obvious in their humor. This is
right.
a lot more subtle, you know.
Yeah, well, and some of the stuff wasn't subtle, which I liked, because that was the stuff I could laugh at. Um, like I said, I love the characters like the jujitsu guy and the Bigfoot guy and there was
There's almost like a Python-esque kind of feeling to it with this ridiculous jujitsu stuff going on. And, the one guy who failed and he's, talking about how he's using magic. He's like, I'm wizard of jujitsu. And I'm like, what the
yeah,
hell, man?
yeah, he's like, I feel like I was cursed when I got on that mat
Right.
every time I fought him.
It's
And
like
they're
keeps going up and up and up and up.
and they're trying to figure out what's this curse. But like, how's the curse relate back to Dom Pedro was my question. Dom Pedro. I don't know. I think that was the problem, was it was too like everywhere, and there was no real like understanding of any of this stuff.
Or
They
Greasy Strangler. Reminds me a little bit of the Greasy Strangler in some of its absurdist kind of approach.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I dig that kind of thing. So,
I still think the string was a little bit better than this movie.
oh well, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that was a
That's
little
hard.
bit I don't know. I enjoyed it though. I had a I like I said, I wasn't bored, and that's the big thing. If I'm bored by a movie, I'm done, and everything. And I probably, if I was really bored with this movie, don't know what I would have done. I might have told you that I don't know if I could do this, or not, but
So yeah, this is out of Pittsburgh, and I'm wondering if some of our Pittsburgh peeps up there know these folks.
maybe,
You know, like how many of
maybe.
these folks work with the Carousel folks, and I don't know. I don't know if they all know each other or what. That'd be very very interesting. Pittsburgh's got some stuff going on up there. That's kind of cool.
Good. Hopefully then maybe there'll be a Gross Fest. Come on
Yeah,
out.
that'd be
Come
great.
see us.
I
or
would love
other.
to see these guys at Gross Fest, and I tell you, if they have a Blu-ray or DVD, I'll probably buy it.
I would buy it too. Like I don't. This isn't a movie I was like I said, there's not a movie I was bored with. I'd like to see like special behind the scenes stuff and things like that of how they made this, because it is a low budget film. Like
Mhm.
this is an indie film cafe kind of movie like thing. So I totally get it and I like it. And I want to see more stuff that they put out. I know they're doing
Me too.
the Christmas rom-com one, the I swiped the wrong one, and I think that might be fun to
See,
watch.
I will, because you know I hate rom-coms, but I will watch that one with you if you will watch the Bigfoot Escapes Part 7 with me, because that
Unleashed.
looks hysterical.
That looks like a short. I don't think they did it as a feature or
Yeah.
anything.
I'm hoping. I keep writing in emails and say, dude, you got to make that movie. And
Or
start off with 7. Don't make the other ones. Make it start off with 7.
or eight, because they've
Or
already
8.
done seven as a short. Do eight.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right.
Let's
That'd be
see. Let's
fun.
get it up there.
Well, there's a
Um,
lot of Bigfoot stuff that you can make fun of that's just silly and ridiculous. I
yeah.
think this is the guy to handle it, you know?
What was the guy's name? Joe something, right? I'm look
It was the director was Don Swanson, and the writer was Joe Fischel and Don
Joe
Swanson.
Fischel. And Joe Fischel did, I think it was his film, like it was his producing
Right,
company, production
right.
company that put it out. So, but yeah, Joe and Don Swanson. So,
And he was the guy who played
Mr. Clark,
Mr. Clarky. Yeah,
Clarky or whatever. Yeah. He, it's Clark with an E, which is like, I keep thinking of Jason Clark, when I hear that.
well, I think one of the characters said that he was trying to sound more Hispanic or something like that,
Hispanic. Yeah.
South America, which I thought was funny.
Yeah. Like, you don't need to do that, bro. You're just a
Yeah.
teacher. But
Just a
yeah,
white dude, accept it and move on. It's funny.
but it was fun. It was cute. It had some good moments. I like the main two girls a lot.
They were great.
Um, I think the one who was obsessed with Bigfoot, I thought you would really love,
Oh
and
yeah.
I love the other girl like a lot too. I thought she was because she was the more serious one who's like, can
Hmm.
we stop looking at the Bigfoot,
I know.
stuff?
That's why they were so good together.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it worked. I want to see them in a movie again, like with
Yes,
something else.
absolutely,
Doesn't have to be a
absolutely.
sequel to this, but something else. I would love to see them
I could
back
see them
together.
being sisters or something.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this. I think we have one more that we'll be doing probably before the end of the year, and then I think we'll take a break from Quick Review Thursday for a couple months, and then we'll come back.
And folks, if you're out there, if you're not terrified of our reviews, feel free to send us a link, and we'd be happy to jump online and give us our 2 cents. Remember, this is just our opinions. It's all it is.
That's all it is. It's just our opinions. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. That's the point of having an opinion. Everybody has one.
Hmm.
So feel free to let us know. Did you disagree with our stuff, or have you not seen it and you want to check it out because of what we said? We do really enjoy it, and everything. So it's just like I said, it did not bore me. That's hard because a lot of movies bore me these days. So that's
Hmm.
really hard. So there you go. That's a very good
Well,
thing.
and the fact that it's not really like most other films
Mm.
automatically made me interested in it. So
No, of course.
it's
Yeah.
just, of course, there's always little issues that you would like to see done better or differently. That's you can do that with just about any film, unless you're, Stanley Kubrick. Nobody walks out of the gate as Stanley Kubrick.
No, not even Stanley Kubrick.
Not even Stanley Kubrick.
He didn't start out being Stanley Kubrick.
No,
Hitchcock didn't start out being that good either.
that's
They had to
true.
work.
People
They have to
forgot
work.
he had a
Yeah,
couple of stinkers.
he's had a lot of stinkers, especially
Yeah,
silent era movies were not that good.
yeah.
We've been doing them for Hooked on Hitchcock, and we got a lot more to watch. I am not excited about it because the few silent ones I've seen, other than the Lodger was great, but after that, like some of the other ones, I'm just like, on. So me and Larry Butler are getting news done. But all right, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, if you have a movie you want us to review, we will review it for you. Just send it to us. Until then, everybody, bye.
Bye. Mew, mew.